The city of Cape Town is planning a new development in the Philippi Horticultural Area, but it's feared it will impact farming and food security. That's the view of the Philippi Horticultural Area Food and Farming Campaign. Well, let's discuss this further now. I'm joined by the campaign's chairperson, Nazeer Sonday. Nazeer, good afternoon. Welcome to Today on ENCA. Thank you, sir, very much for your time. So you are concerned that this development that will bring about some commercial activity in the area of Philippi plus housing will actually be harmful to the environment and not be beneficial to the farming community.
Yes, exactly. Well, it's going to destroy our farmland. Our farmland is a 3,000-hectare farming area, which has been historically supplying the food, the city's food for over 150 years. The area is also the important recharge zone of the Cape Flats aquifer, from which the city is now tapping water in to diversify the city's water supply. Remember, we had day zero in Cape Town, and since then the aquifer also is very important in our area. So our area really supplies the city with food and supplies the city with water. Now the development, what's going to do is the development actually is going to set a precedence that will not only destroy the land of the development itself, but also the land in close proximity of this development, and also further have loss of land for production.
Now, the Western Cape High Court in 2020 did make an order for the provincial government to reconsider the impact of this development and to do a proper public participation. Have you been consulted since that time? Have you participated as members of the public? You represent a very important civil society grouping in this matter.
Yeah, so what happened was the 2020 court judgment said that there was a concern about the impact of the development on the aquifer, on water scarcity, and on climate change. And so the court agreed with us and our supporters around the danger of this development, and ordered the developer to assess the impact of the development on those three things. Except that the process now is that they have given us information in the way they see the development not impacting on climate change and water scarcity on the aquifer, which we still don't agree with. And they have given us actually no new information, which the court ordered them to do.
Now, when I look at what the development is planning to do, I want to put this question to you, because you are also a farmer, I understand, sir, is that the development is proposing housing for 15,000 families. That's quite a large number of people who deserve and need housing. Schools, commercial activity and industrial facilities, and there'll be some level of conservation. When I hear that, I'm thinking it's going to be good for the area, but you disagree.
Well, you know, to address our restitution for apartheid, against our communities, well-located land for farming is as important for well-located land for housing. And we know, and the city knows, that there are land in the city to where housing can be built. In fact, the city has 11,000 hectares where this developments can be built to address restitution for apartheid forced removals out of the city, right? Now, restitution for farmland is as important. Well-located farmland is important because this farmland provides the city, and especially the poor in the city, with food. See, we are what the deputy mayor has come to understand, and we are the center of the food system in Cape Town, from which food flows into the supermarket chains, falls into hawkers, spaza shops, into poor communities. If we lose this area, we will lose that important food security element in delivering on food.
Now, in terms of that court order of 2020, as you said, they were ordered to do a new environmental impact assessment report. I understand it's expected to be submitted to the Western Cape authorities this week, and we don't know what it would have found. What are you expecting? Because the MEC for Local Government, Environmental Affairs and Development Planning, Mr. Anton Bredel, now will have to make up his mind. What are you hoping will be coming out of this latest impact assessment report?
Well, for me, it's very clear that the climate change science is very clear that we are in a situation of a climate crisis, and food supply is precarious. I mean, we only have to look at what the pandemic did to our food supply, what the day zero water crisis did to our food supply, the fuel shocks, the financial shocks, even the war in Ukraine has an impact on food supply, right? So I'm confident that Bredel, at this point, of this development, in this time of climate change, and all of these issues that impact on food security and people who need access to food, will not approve this development. So I'm confident he's going to do that. He's also the minister who actually is part of a cabinet who approved the protection of the Philippi Horticultural Area. He is also the minister who has turned down a urban edge shift to allow for other developments in this area. So I'm confident that the minister will agree with the climate science, will agree of the importance of the Philippi Horticultural Area and the development side as well in addressing food security and build our city's climate resilience.
So the ideal and the best outcome for you is not trying to balance with the needs of the development plus your farming needs in terms of what you've just explained. It's just to let this area, let the Philippi Horticultural Area to be a farming community and no kind of heavy housing development, commercial and industrial development at all.
One of the fallacies of this development has been that it's going to address the housing crisis. In fact, the price bracket of the houses being built in this development does not address the housing need of our communities on the Cape Flats. It's gated communities, and actually we need to have for restitution and social justice, we need to build housing for the communities that really need housing in the city to address apartheid spatial planning. What this development does, it perpetuates apartheid spatial planning, and further to that, is going to make us, it's going to have an impact on food security for even the most vulnerable in our city, on which they depend on the food supply coming from the Philippi Horticultural Area.